Hello YouTube, it's me, Brittany. I am here today to talk about my checklist for my surgery. I just went through my entire packet that I received from the medical facility, which is, I'm going to tell you, it's Denver Health, so it's just going to be shown probably on some of these pages you're going to see here in a minute. But anyways, so I thought a really good video would be to kind of go through this checklist that they sent for me that you need in order to get to your surgery. And it is like, I think it's going to be great information for anybody who's still baby trans in their first 2 years of transitioning, because I would have loved to have known this. Some of these things are kind of new information to me that I learned within the last like 3 to 4 months as I've been getting into this process. So yeah, so I'm just going to throw this out here for you guys. If you guys like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share it if you think some of your friends would need it. Yeah, I'm going to go right into it. Unfortunately, I'm getting older than I want to be, and in order to read this paperwork, I'm going to need my glasses, so please don't make fun of me because I'm going to look like a completely different person. But anyways, here we go. So, this is the checklist. It's actually front and back, and it comes from Denver Health, and the first thing that you're going to have to do, at least with this hospital, I'm sure most hospitals might be a little different as they, depending on which facility you're working with, but I would assume that this is probably going to be a fairly close idea of what it's going to be pretty much everywhere else. But anyways, in order to get started, you have to do what I did about 3 months ago, and that's fill out this health service request form. I don't want to put it on screen too much because it has a lot of my own personal information still on it, and because I had to email this and mail this all back in with some information. And then they're like, okay, cool, yeah, you're approved. Let's get you started and get you going in the process. And so that's where I'm at now, receiving the packet of how we go about getting started. So the next thing on the list after that gender confirming that paperwork that I just showed you is to check with your insurance to make sure that your insurance is going to cover it. Most facilities, at least in the United States, will not perform the surgery unless you do have insurance. So I recommend that you have health insurance. That's a really hard thing to come for some trans people. I'm aware of that. I'm lucky to have a really good job. I am still terrified, though, to call my insurance and see if they cover it. I have some trans coworkers that say that the insurance covers it, so I've just been putting it off, but that is a phone call I do need to make for myself. But like I said, most places in the United States will require you to have health insurance in order to do it, even if you have enough money to pay for the surgery, which is outrageous without health insurance. So, but anyways, yeah, so look into that, especially if you're early in your transition. Make sure you're getting yourself a good job, or get yourself health insurance in some way. There are some actual states that are now allowing this surgery process to be done through Medicare. So if you're in one of those states, congratulations, you're really, really lucky, and look into getting that assistance for yourself. The next thing I would need on this checklist is called the release of information. I do not put anything on this, so I have no problem showing it to you. It's going to be backwards for you, though. So anyways, but basically this is I'm going to take to my doctor, and they are going to give all of my medical records away, which is totally fine with me. I want them to make sure that I'm healthy enough to get this accomplished without, hurting my own health. The next thing actually is one of the things on this list that when I first called them and talked to them about it, I was really kind of annoyed. I do understand its purpose, but well, let me just explain. So the next thing is called an informational session, and it's mandatory at Denver Health for you to go to one of these informational sessions. And basically, I'm sure it's just going to be a session where they're going to talk about what happens in surgery, what happens after surgery, and just I have no doubt that it's a valuable thing that I need, and I would love to go. However, they only do it once a month. It's generally on a day that I work because I have a 40-hour job, and I have bills to pay, and so it makes it hard for me because I also don't own a car. So, and coming up soon here in Colorado, we're gonna have what's called winter, and it's gonna snow way too much for me to be driving around the mountains and over mountains. No, Brittany doesn't do that. So yeah, once the winter comes, Brittany just kind of hangs around the mountains, she snowboards, and that's it. So yeah, this informational session is probably going to be the hardest for me. However, you can do that all the way up to a month or 2 months before your surgery. So I have plenty of time to go to this informational session. The next couple things we're going to breeze right through because we can actually check some of these things off. I'm going to check some off right now. We'll check off that gender form list. Haven't done that, but the next two we can easily check off. So this is the main thing that you're going to be doing if you're just starting HRT. This is why you started HRT. So in order for you to qualify for surgery, you have to have 12 months experience, which is living in the gender role that you identify as. So, you know, if you're a trans woman like me, that means you've been living full-time as a woman for over 12 months. I'm on 7 years almost now, so I think I passed. We'll cross that one off. Yes, so the next one is 12 months on hormones. So, like I said, I've been living full-time for 7 years. However, I've only been on hormones for 6 years. So, I still meet the 12-month requirement, but I do understand that some trans girls don't get to that hormones as long as they've been living and, you know, passing and identifying as their gender that they identify as. So I'm just putting that out there that, you know, not everybody gets to start hormones right as soon as they get started. It took me a year to find out how to get hormones. So like I've said in other videos, please don't hesitate to ask in a comment or anything. I will gladly help you the best I can because I understand how difficult that is when you're starting to transition. Anyways, we'll cross that one off because I've done that one. The next one is going to be challenging, but it's something that can be done over time, so don't think of it as too much as a task, but it's 2 support letters. So for me, I can only cross off half of this because they're not going to accept my support letter that I have from my original endocrinologist, because they're looking for psychiatric support letters. So I do have one psychiatric professional who's already written a support letter for me, and luckily my job that I work for provides free psychiatric evaluations, counseling sessions basically are provided by the company that I work for. So I'm going to utilize that and seek another counselor here in the next, you know, well, basically over the next 12 months, and have them write me another letter as well. So I have no doubt that I can accomplish that. But like I said, I'm only halfway there on the 2 support letters. Now, the next thing is what surprised me the most because I just wasn't aware. And you may not be aware of it too, but now I'm going to let you know that you have to get full permanent hair removal in order to do that. Some people may have already done that. If you can get it done sooner rather than later, it's not something you have to wait to be approved for surgery. That would be great. This is kind of graphic, but this is the diagram and picture that they sent me to show exactly where you need to get your permanent hair removed from. You can probably look that up online. I don't want my video to be pulled down by YouTube because it's got inappropriate whatever. But anyways, yeah, so this was a big shock to me because I wasn't ready for this extra expense. This is going to cost me an extra $1,500. It's going to be 5 to 6 sessions of permanent hair removal. If anybody's done permanent hair removal, you know exactly how it works. It's not like a boom process. We can get it over with. So yeah, I was a little thrown aback by this one. It's kind of gonna hit my budget here tight here, but I am actively getting in the process of starting this permanent hair removal. Luckily, there is a dermatology place that is walking distance from my house, and I've already spoken with them, and they've worked on a form of a payment plan so that I can purchase their sixth appointment package for the $1,490 that it is, and I can maybe make like a $300 deposit and then keep making payments as I come along, as opposed to paying over $2,400 by doing it one session at a time. Anyways, that's enough about hair removal. Let's get into the medical criteria that is on here, and they actually send a guidelines paperwork for this, and I'll read this in a second. But anyways, the short version is you have to meet these certain criteria medically, which is you can't have a body mass index greater than 35, and ideally they would like you to be lower than 33. If you don't know what body mass index is, I'm not going to be the best person to explain it but from what my understanding is, it's if you are excessively obese, you may not qualify for surgery. So if you do feel like you are overweight and you need to lose some weight, I would recommend starting to exercise and diet properly to get yourself into a healthy body mass index or BMI in order to get surgery if that's what you're looking for in the future. The next thing on the medical criteria is you must quit smoking. Now, I smoked for 7 years. Luckily, when I moved to Colorado, the elevation basically just said, girl, what are you thinking? So I haven't smoked. I don't smoke anymore at all. I still smoke weed all the time, which is luckily, you have to just quit smoking tobacco, and they will tobacco test you, and that can get you denied for surgery as well. Anyways, marijuana is okay. Crack cocaine, not okay. Meth, not okay. So if you're doing those types of drugs, you're also going to be denied surgery as well. But if you're doing those types of drugs, there's probably bigger problems that you need to be worried about. The next thing deals with people with diabetes, which I do not have, so I cannot expand on any of this information. If you're a diabetic and you can expand on it, please feel free to do so in the comments. But it says if you're a diabetic, your hemoglobin A1C should be lower than 8%. And like I said, I have no experience with diabetes, so I cannot go any further into that at all. The next couple of things, I didn't need to read it because I basically just told you everything that's said about smoking, crack cocaine, and all that stuff. But that's basically the medical criteria that you're going to need to meet. And there's also going to be a doctor that you're going to have to meet as well, who's going to approve you medically for the surgery. So there's that as well. So don't think that, I meet all three of those criteria, I should be good to go. No, the doctor still has to say whether you're healthy enough to do this. So the next thing that you're going to need, which is another thing that was kind of surprised me, but I've been told about it, but I didn't realize that it was actually going to be on the checklist. But they're both kind of similar. So you need to be ready to take anywhere from 5 weeks to 3 months off of work. So set your savings aside, set some money aside so that you'll be able to pay your bills. This is going to be really hard for me. I work paycheck to paycheck. This is probably the most difficult aspect for me. The next thing is to get yourself set up in housing with someone that you know that can be there to help you, support you through this process. You're going to be healing for 5 to 6 to 7 weeks, and things are going to be a lot more difficult than you expected, and that they've always been. So get yourself ready. Now, I have a couple of family members that live in the Denver area that I have not contacted yet, but I'm sure that if I contacted and let them know, they would definitely take me in and help me out during this process. Also, I do have a couple of other trans friends in the area that have already offered to be that person for me. So I'm not 100% concerned about it, but it is something that worries me because I am also the type of person that doesn't like not working. Like, I like going on vacations, but I don't like just being like, hey, I'm going to take 3 months off of work because I'm going to lay around. I understand I'm healing, but like for me, I was raised military by a military father. It's just not the work ethic that I was raised with. Anyways, that is my complete checklist I went through with you guys. We're already at like 13 minutes long, so I'm not gonna close out too much. But anyways, I love every single one of you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. Please share this with any of your friends you think it may be helpful for. Please like this. Once again, I love every single one of you guys. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye, everybody.